At the start of this video, I began the video with this hairpiece, and now by the end, I ended up with this one. Stay tuned to find out how.
I don't wanna be bold.
Getting that dirty line that lace gets, but also that whole section where I double bleached it was just becoming really unsightly. Plus I had the dirty line, I was starting to chip away at it with some scissors. Okay, so I've got rid of it. Scrubbed the extra glue off there, cleaned it up. So you get these hairs out, because the glue's already dry now. The back section. You can see that bit that I've bleached to my own hair. Okay, so I've obviously glued all the way to the back edge of the shave zone. So there aren't any gaps. So even though I was aware that I was gluing edge hairs into the glue, I did it anyway so I didn't miss out on gluing all the way to the back perimeter edge. And now some of those hairs are going to be sort of stuck in there. Except for that one, which I just managed to pull out. And that's kind of good enough. Put baby wipe here. Wipe that off my fingers. So I'm going to use another lace piece today, which I've wet so that it's easier to see. I looked at the back of it and pulled out any hairs that are protruding. There's another one. Now, as you are probably aware, if you put this down and miss, then they will all get sucked out through the bottom and be stuck all over here. So it's important not to miss when putting lace on. Poly is a lot more forgiving. So Lord Hair have agreed to send me lace instead of poly. I'll still be getting another poly piece as well, but for another reason. Okay, so going forward, looks like I've chosen to see my future as being a lace future instead of a poly future, which could be a mistake because of the maintenance problems. Just let me concentrate for a second. I can't talk. I just had a 5-hour conversation on the phone. Okay, here we go. The curvature of this makes it harder. If this was flat, it would have been easier to place down like it used to be. But now it's gone curvy, so if you don't understand what I'm talking about, watch back previous videos. Okay, so it's going to have some massive overhang if I just... You really want to make sure this is still there. I just left it sitting around for way too long. This hairpiece, now it's become dry, which is a pain in the ass. Water. Okay, so the main reason I'm choosing lace instead of poly going forward, as far as I can foresee into the future, I might choose poly again in the future. I've changed my mind a few times, but the main reason is I can't have that back perimeter being all messy. Now you can see here that I've totally missed that. Listen, I'm not going to be able to explain everything. If you can't follow the dotted bouncing ball with your own eyes and observation, I just can't. I'm not in the mood to be telling you shit, right? Okay, minimum level of this video is IQ of 120, as always. Anybody who's a fucking idiot can fuck off right now. Thank you. Okay. So hopefully there are no gaps back here. The hairpiece hasn't been cut exactly to scale, as you know. If you don't know, then you haven't been watching the previous videos, and you will have not mostly fucking do it. Okay. So the temple fits there on that side nicely, but on this side there's a massive amount that I'm going to have to cut off. Because, like I've said, the stencil is not cut correctly for the shave zone that I've made. Okay. So I'll be snipping away that edge, do you understand? Good. Next step is tape. I'm going to cut about 8 of these off, right? I'll be cutting 8 of those out. Don't worry, I'll edit this. Okay, so I put one there on the edge where I know that's correct, and I'm putting one right down the front center where I can see that's going to land, which I'm quite happy with that altitude. For the rest, I'm going to mostly have to pretty much guess. Is this too high this side? I don't know. I don't know. I just can't be bothered double checking or pulling this off and re-straightening it. Though I've regretted not doing that many times in the past, but can you read my mood? Are you able to? I just don't understand people who can't read moods. Okay, so I'm just going to try to guess the rest. I have to be careful there because I put that on wet skin, as you just saw, so I didn't really need to explain that to you. Okay, tape marking. I'll probably have to add a little bit more glue at the end to that section there. This section here will mostly have to be sliced off. That needs to go up there. It's hard to fucking tell, man. Yeah, I think it needs to go up higher. You know what is really useful? Spraying your forehead with spray tan. Then this, you wouldn't even, you need the tape, but you wouldn't know exactly where the line is to run it. Now here's a really amazing breakthrough for today. Take the label off the Ultra Hold so you can see what's going on inside. There'll be residual glue around the outside of it. Spray this on the outside of it, wipe it down, soap and water and baby wipes. Just gonna make sure this hair is completely out of the way. I currently have about 260 unread comments on my channel, which I'm extremely pleased to have basically not stressed myself about, which allows me to just keep making content, doing my hair. I can guess what people will be writing, but I know it's rude of me, but I just have to avoid the dickheads sometimes. for my own sanity. I've surpassed 500,000 views on my channel now, over 3.5 million minutes of watch time. And one day, if it's of any interest to you, I might make a bit of a video showing you where you're located and what age groups you are and other things. It's also very interesting to note that with these videos, every video starts off with 100% viewers, right? Because everybody clicks on a video. And so anybody who clicks on a video, that's 100% of the people who click on the video, constitute 100% of the viewers for that video. But I get to see at how many seconds through the video that 100% drops away. And on every single one of my videos, not only on this YouTube channel, but on all my other YouTube channels as well, within the first 1 second, it always drops to less than 20%. I just can't imagine that I click, for me, if I'm looking at YouTube videos, I don't think there's a time when I have really ever clicked on a YouTube video, because I've already decided I'm going to watch that video, and then in less than 1 second, I've switched it off. How could that constitute 80% of people? All I can say is that I think most people are really, really, really stupid with crazy small attention spans. I would assume that most videos on YouTube experience the same phenomenon. An 80% drop in viewers within the first 1 second. That's crazy, isn't it? Even if in the old days, was 5 channels on television in Australia for most of my life. So even if you're channel surfing, you're likely to only do it once in a while. So you'd think that if you switch to a particular channel, you'd stay there for at least 10 seconds, see what's on. Because in the first 1 second, you can't tell anything. I don't understand it. Let's hope this is a good enough shaped hairline. I feel like it should probably be a bit lower on that side, I don't know. Anyway, 15 minutes. I'll stick this down and cut that out and give myself a haircut. Okay, let's see how this goes. So, yeah, I missed gluing that bit down there. Look at the density difference. Remember the last hairpiece? That is nowhere near as bad as that last one. Yeah, so the tape marking method failed here. That was way too conservative, I guess. And an extra part along there is going to be cut off. It seems about equal. Yeah, bleach my own real hairs up here. I'll just start by getting rid of that excess, and then I'll glue down the other rest of it again properly without, I'll probably peel it back. I don't want to go overboard with cutting off too much here as well, so I'll be conservative with this, just so I can cut off excess. Daddy's Home 2 on Netflix has a pretty all-star cast. That was quite good to watch if you want something very casual and light comedy. Okay, so instead of trying to, get half one of these, the principle of the fine brush method that people are suggesting is basically that's too big, so do that and then use that bit there. That's what they're saying. I don't think that makes a very good brush. Trying to get it under there and do that neatly is just gonna make a fucking mess. So I'll do it. I'll use this again, okay? I've run out, so I'll cut a few more of these out. Okay, so we might end up with a couple of extra thickness layers down near the front here, but I just don't want to be peeling back unnecessarily and so on. So for example, that meets the edge there, but then further along it doesn't, there's a lot of overhang here. So I'm going to unstick it. You can see why polys are so much easier. And poly actually does have just as good a hairline, and it lasts for ages compared to this, which gets a dirty line. So lace has only got the advantage really of having this perimeter remaining more blended. That sort of seems like the only advantage of lace. And you don't sweat, it allows the sweat to vent out. But aside from that, poly has a lot of advantages. So why go back to this? Basically for the perimeter. I just don't want that stark line back here with the poly. That's really the main and almost only reason to be thinking about going back full-time to lace again. Because I want to wear a motorcycle helmet and stuff, and this will get all fucked up if I use that. And look at the stretching that lace experiences when you fuck it up. Poly doesn't seem to stretch as badly. lace hairs pull out from underneath on the glue and all the other shit, and the shine comes through and the lace. Yeah, so if it wasn't for the plastic perimeter problems of poly, I'd stick with poly, I think. Because lace is a bit of a pain in the ass. Like just gluing the front of poly and just sticking it back down again, so much easier. The other thing is with poly is the whole ugliness of the root system. They're not really V-loops, they're some other type of stitching. Because I've seen a photo since I've been using the word V-loops, the term V-loops. And these, they actually look like V's. They're not knots and they're not U stitchings. There's something else entirely that I haven't ever seen in real life, only in pictures. But the pictures I saw, they hadn't bleached the base of the V, so it would have looked awful. So you saw that chunk of glue just a second ago, it's coagulated. You don't want that chunk sticking around. It means the glue's nearly had it. But the glue's still not completely that bad. I mean, apart from the occasional chunk. I've put the lid on enough times, I think, on that particular glue bottle. It's lasted about 2 or 3 months. And I've always estimated it to be about $45, but upon further investigation, I think it's actually more about $27 for a bottle of however many ounces that is, ultra old. And I peeled the lid off today, and so I feel like I've massively improved the usability of this product. You can see when the brush is touching whatever it can touch. Obviously the brush tip isn't designed properly for this bottle, as I've discussed with you many times. But you can always see exactly when it's reaching, which is a huge help. So I recommend everybody take that lid off. It just peels off, and then you obviously to wipe the residue off with the C22 and baby wipe and soap and water. Okay, so hopefully in 15 minutes this time, hopefully it will be exact. Plus I cut off that excess on that side now, so honest problem to worry about. Then I'll give myself a haircut. Okay, let's see how accurate my tape marking was this time. Hairs out of that thing. Start in the middle. I always expect there to be some kind of error. I hope there's not any error, but it would be a bit amazing if there wasn't. What a... Yeah, you can see there's some hair stuck in some glue over there. Clean as you go. So this glue along here will cause trouble. Even see along there, that little joint at the corner. Bad example because I'm sort of a little bit away from it, but it blends so much better than poly does. Starting from there, going all the way around the outside edge, poly causes blending issues. That's really the only reason I'm going through the difficulty level of lace, because lace is a lot more problematic. Yeah, there's a little bit of a lip here, wasn't glued down exactly along there. See the shine showing through the lace as well. You can't avoid that with lace, unfortunately. You can rub your finger on it. I don't know if you can see it shiny, but rubbing your finger on it gives it a temporary reprieve from the shininess. But it's not just shininess in summertime, it's the glue actually melting. So lace is a bit of a pain in the ass. Now I really need to get rid of this glue along the front here, otherwise it'll give me issues. So I'll take a baby wipe. And then we'll spray some C22 solvent onto the tip. I don't want to dissolve all the glue that I've just put in, but it's natural that that might happen. Okay, so just that area. Now I could flip it over, but I want it to be clean, so it's a clean one. Using a bit of pressure, because glue is often there when you can't even feel it. And you only find out later on when you've got a lot of cleaning up to do. So even there, I really thought that it had been cleaned away, but that area is going to require constant cleaning. So I got sort of what I could just then, but I don't want to degrade the front surface too much, so I'll leave whatever residual glue is there, but I've taken off most of it. With poly there would be zero, as you know. Okay, but lace has no perimeter issues. It's all nice around the outside rim. Okay, so the knots are primarily well bleached on this piece. Couple of little dents right there. But I don't need to bleach the front of this hairpiece because the knots are bleached well enough. Okay. So if we do a direct comparison to how my other hairpiece was before I took this off, that's a lot of glue there. You can hear it. Okay, so this was the hairpiece that I just took off my head. So look at the hair line there now. And this is what I had on earlier today. Do you remember this hairpiece? There's a huge amount of chunkiness going on around the front area. It became really disgusting and everything. I tried to bleach out the problems and so on. But then all of this was exposed and really gross, right? So now that's the new one. So even this was short-lived. I can't just keep wearing it because I'm supposed to wear it for 3 weeks. I don't think it even made it for 1.5 weeks, really. Whatever. It's gone. That will require a considerable amount of cleanup. Probably deal with it tomorrow. But now I will, and this overhang here, this bit that's not glued down properly, I'll let that be till further notice as well. So this haircut is approximately down to my eyebrows. Should be alright. At the start of this video, I began the video with this hairpiece, and now by the end, I ended up with this one. Stay tuned to find out how. That's what I'm going to put at the start of the video, because I've got this, people join at 100% and then within the first second they drop down to 20% viewership. So there's nothing I can really do about it. I think they're clicking on a video that says stick on hair, this is how to attach your hairpiece, and they're expecting to see a little cartoon of SpongeBob SquarePants. And for some reason, why did I do that? And so that's 80% of people. So I don't know what they're expecting. There you go. So that's hopefully this one will last for 3 weeks. And since I'm using lace, I don't know that I want to keep washing it and keep reusing it. So in 3 weeks, I might just chuck this one out and just put on another lace piece. It totally alleviates the problem with the outer rim. You saw how I put on a hairpiece that had too much at the front. I just chopped that away because the tape marking dictated where the glue needed to be, but I still didn't get that quite right this time, but it's mostly good enough. I'll do a little bit of a touch up later on this week.